Welcome to Into the Paradox, everyone. I was just thinking the other day about how much our idea of a perfect summer holiday it's really shifted, hasn't it? I remember growing up, it was all about chasing the sun, getting that tan. Now, it feels like we're actively running from it.
Absolutely, Peter. It's a complete reversal. For so long, the ideal was lying on a beach, scorching hot sun, maybe a quick dip to cool off. But with these record-breaking heat waves, especially across Europe and other parts of the world, that dream holiday can quickly turn into a nightmare of discomfort or worse, a health risk.
Exactly. I was reading about this new trend, they're calling them climate holidays. It's essentially people purposefully seeking out cooler destinations, places where the mercury isn't hitting 40 degrees Celsius. And it makes so much sense when you think about it.
It does. I've personally felt that shift. Last summer, I was planning a trip, and usually, my first thought would be Spain or Greece. But then I looked at the forecasts, saw the heat warnings, and honestly, the thought of spending a week trying to avoid heat stroke just didn't sound like a holiday anymore. I wanted to relax.
So where did you end up going, or where did you consider going instead of the typical Mediterranean spots?
Well, I seriously considered Scotland. I mean, it's got stunning landscapes, incredible history, and you're pretty much guaranteed a moderate climate, even in July or August. Crisp air, maybe a bit of a breeze, perfect for hiking and exploring without feeling like you're melting.
Scotland is a fantastic example. It's traditionally been seen as beautiful, yes, but maybe not the summer holiday destination for many seeking warmth. Now it's becoming a sanctuary. I bet they're seeing a huge boost in tourism from people specifically looking for that cooler experience.
I think so too. And it's not just Scotland. We're seeing it in places like Scandinavia, parts of Northern Europe, even mountainous regions within countries that typically get very hot. People are looking for comfort, for activities they can actually enjoy outdoors, not just being confined to air-conditioned rooms.
It highlights a really stark reality of global warming, doesn't it? These aren't just one-off extreme weather events anymore. They're becoming the norm. And it's directly influencing our behaviour, right down to how we choose to spend our precious holiday time and money.
Absolutely. It's a very tangible way that climate change is impacting our daily lives and choices. It's no longer some abstract concept or a problem for future generations. It's here, it's now, and it's making us rethink everything from our wardrobes to our travel plans.
And beyond just the personal comfort, there's a serious economic ripple effect here. What does this mean for those traditional sun destinations that have built their entire economies around attracting sun seekers? If people are consciously avoiding them due to heat, that's a huge shift.
It's enormous. Countries like Spain, Italy, Greece, their summer tourism is a massive part of their GDP. If July and August become too hot for comfort or even dangerous, they'll have to adapt, maybe shift their peak season to spring and autumn, but even then, those shoulder seasons are getting warmer too.
It could fundamentally change the tourism map of Europe and globally. We might see places that were niche destinations becoming mainstream and places that were mainstream having to reinvent themselves. Maybe they start marketing themselves for winter sun or emphasize cultural tourism over beach breaks during the hottest months.
Exactly. And it's not just about the holidays either. We're also starting to hear more about climate migration. People aren't just vacationing in cooler places, some are actually considering moving there permanently because their home regions are becoming unlivable or unsustainable due to heat, droughts, or other climate-related issues.
That's a much more serious long-term implication, isn't it? When a climate holiday becomes a scouting trip for a new home, it's no longer just about comfort, but survival, or at least maintaining a reasonable quality of life.
It really is, and it's a trend that's going to accelerate. As temperatures continue to rise and extreme weather events become more frequent and intense, we're going to see more people, whether through choice or necessity, looking to relocate to more temperate zones.
I mean, on a personal level, I've always loved a good sunny beach holiday. But even I'm finding myself drawn to the idea of a hiking trip in the Scottish Highlands or exploring the fjords in Norway. The idea of waking up to fresh, cool air, even if it's a bit cloudy, sounds incredibly appealing right now.
Me too, Peter. There's a certain charm and rugged beauty to these cooler climates that you just don't get with a typical sun holiday. Think about the historical sites in Edinburgh, the wild beauty of the Isle of Skye, or even just sitting by a loch with a warm drink. It's a different kind of relaxation, a different kind of adventure.
And it also feels a bit more responsible in a way. I'm not saying traditional sun holidays are irresponsible, but there's an awareness that comes with acknowledging the changing climate and adapting our choices. It's almost like we're voting with our wallets and our travel plans.
That's a great point. It reflects a growing environmental consciousness. People are not only concerned about their personal comfort and safety, but also about the broader impact of climate change. And perhaps by choosing these climate holidays, we're inadvertently supporting regions that are more resilient or less impacted by extreme heat.
So let's talk about the practicalities. If someone is considering a climate holiday, what are some key things they should look for beyond just the temperature?
That's a good question. Beyond the obvious cooler temperatures, I'd suggest looking for places with robust infrastructure, even if they're remote. Good hiking trails, clear signposting, decent local amenities like cafes and shops, and reliable transportation. Because you'll likely be more active, you want to ensure the area supports that.
And packing, I imagine, is totally different. You're not just throwing in swimsuits and flip-flops anymore. It's layers, waterproofs, sturdy walking boots.
Oh, absolutely. Layers are your best friend. A good waterproof jacket is non-negotiable even if the forecast looks dry. And sturdy, comfortable footwear is essential if you plan on doing any walking or exploring. It's less about fashion and more about functionality and being prepared for all weathers.
It really encourages a different kind of holiday too, doesn't it? Less about passive sunbathing and more about active exploration, immersing yourself in nature and engaging with the local culture.
Definitely. It pushes you to embrace a more experiential trip. You're not just sitting still, you're moving, discovering, learning. And I think that's incredibly enriching. Plus, when you return home, you're not just refreshed from the break, but you feel like you've genuinely experienced something new and invigorating.
So, for anyone listening who's been dreading another sweltering summer, or perhaps seen their usual holiday spot hit by extreme heat, maybe it's time to reconsider. Look north, look to the mountains, look to places you might not have considered before.
Absolutely. Embrace the climate holiday. You might just find your new favorite destination. And honestly, it's refreshing to know that we have options, that we can adapt to these changing conditions and still find joy and relaxation in our travels. It's about making smart choices for our comfort, health, and for the planet.
Well said, Anastasia. It's certainly given me a lot to think about for my next trip. Thanks for joining me today and shedding light on this fascinating and important trend.
My pleasure, Peter. Thanks for having me.
And to all our listeners, thank you for tuning in. We hope this conversation has given you some food for thought, whether you're a lifelong sun seeker or already dreaming of cooler climes. Until next time, travel safely and maybe pack an extra jumper.